यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 3 of 14th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mama Yonirmahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadhamyaham Sambhavas Sarva Bhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. With the grace of Lord Venkateshwara, we have completed 13 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. And in the last two sessions, we began and had the introduction of 14th chapter. The name of the 14th chapter is known as Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Yoga means the chapter. The chapter which deals the divisions of characteristics of the worldly object. That is the meaning of this chapter. Then I introduced what are the gunas. There are three gunas which are known as Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Gunaha. And these divisions only we can find in our Shastra. Nowhere these divisions are given. Science has got its own technical terms for the divisions, but those divisions even not completely going with these divisions. What I mean to say, so those divisions, they are meant for to use the worldly object properly, but these divisions which helps us to understand the world properly. Once you understand the world properly, then you can deal with the world properly. This body, mind and sense complex which are provided to us to enjoy our karma phala, isn't it? Any object you buy in a shop, now nowadays there is no bargaining. You go to mall and we just pick the things from there, from toothbrush, toothpaste to up to rice and dal and oils. Whatever we want to purchase, you just pick them from their stands and you have to go for billing. So there everything is billed. Okay, all those materials is to be prepared for our food, and certain materials are with detail, that usage method. They even give a book how to use, or some papers or which is folded with that shampoo and cosmetics. You need to know how to use them. Even medicine must be prescribed by a person, otherwise we cannot have the medicine. If you buy a car, you should know how to use the car, how to operate everything, including driving. So we have to realize. So like any object you buy, you should be aware about it. Then you can use those objects successfully. But one object which is precious in our life, we are not thoroughly aware about it. It is so sad. The Bhagavan helps us to realize the device properly. The divisions helps us to realize about our body, our mind and even the buddhi. The intellectual aspects also is endowed with these three gunas. Once I understand what are these three gunas, the nature of three gunas, as I introduced from my idea and I presented it in simple way so that we can have a kind of idea about them. But we are going to learn through the words of Krishna about these three gunas. Analyzing world through the categories which are called three gunas will help us to understand the nature of the world, understand the originality of this material aspects of the world, which is very important because life is completely dependent on the matter principle. Though the substratum of this matter principle is Purusha Tattva, means consciousnness principle, but we are not completely aware about it. I mean to say, zero awareness which we have regarding Purusha Tattva. In the last chapter, Bhagavan has cleared, my dear, please understand. Bhagavan doesn't use please, okay? So, as a teacher, I can use the word please try to understand the reality of these two realities. The one is matter principles, which is inert. The another is consciousness principle, which is consciousness. So, once we are aware about these two realities, then we can analyze about two realities. We learned the equation knowledge in the last chapter. Now we are going to analyze the matter principle through these three divisions, which will be very helpful for us to survive successfully. What is the nature of the matter? To bind. The world binds us. The understanding of normal people of the world is world can bother them, and the body also is the place where we can enjoy the pleasure and pain. It means body causes for pleasure and pain. Body becomes tool to enjoy the pleasure and pain. Now finally we can conclude there is a problem which is experienced by every one of us. The problem which is caused by the world. That's what our conclusion. The problem which can be from our body, mind and sense complex. Therefore, we start fighting with our own body, mind and sense complex. We have to fight to establish our health. We have to fight to establish ourselves in this world. We have to fight with the world to establish ourselves. That fight is in the form of struggling. That struggling which is nothing but suffering. A person should establish first, every one of us should learn a language to express. We cannot express like in a beginning time tribals. We establish a language to express. The emotions are expressed through language. We have to learn how to interact with others. We have to be taught, we have to be taught everything. We have to be taught how to eat, how to dress, how to speak. But we are not taught how to set the goal. Though we are taught there are so many goals, then also we are made to be a competitor. Then we are told that we have to establish ourselves in this world, otherwise we are not going to be fit for the world. That brings a kind of competition in our mind, a struggling aspects of our mind. We started establishing ourselves, still we are establishing. A person goes to school, he has to prove there he is eligible for the school by giving the exams. And those exams are not going to help in our personal life to make the decisions. I don't know what is the connection with the exams when they provide certificates. Those certificates which will be useful to get a job, hopefully. After getting the job, he has to make the decisions. The certificates won't come and prove every time. He has to prove again. Again we have to prove ourselves in the job field. We have to prove in a family, we have to prove in a public, we have to prove ourselves in every place of the world. The total life is to prove ourselves. Total life is to establish. That struggling continues. And that too not understanding completely about our device called body, and not understanding about the world, what is the nature of the world. We are taught something only for the paper-based certificate, which is not enough to live our life. Bhagavad Gita, especially Bhagavan Krishna, he is so compassionate towards us. He says, please, you have to understand the nature of the world in order to have a successful life. Before understanding the nature of the world, you need to have a realization of the self. With the realization of the self, one can have this inquiry of the world. That's what we are about to begin. We are going to analyze every atom of the world now with the help of the words of Krishna. It's a brilliant job, I tell you. In the beginning 2 verses, Bhagavan says, this is a kind of process which is in the form of knowledge, the knowledge by knowing which you can get rid of all sorrow. You won't be born again. It will help you to get rid of the cycle of birth and death. So great knowledge. It's a kind of additional knowledge after establishing knowledge of equation. The equation between two consciousness which we have completed already. That knowledge which helped us to establish equation will help us to understand the originality of the world. Now, in order to establish the consciousness principle more clearly, the world is being analyzed through these 3 divisions. Therefore, this is a serious job, but it's also fun. When you understand the reality about the gunas, the world is nothing but gunas. Every gross things which threatens us, anything, which is gigantic, which is huge means huge in size, it threatens us. The mind becomes fearful towards or in front of that huge materials. You go in front of a huge mountain, your mind becomes struck. You go in front of ocean, which is vast, limitless, your mind becomes struck. The mind is to be realized because mind also is occupied with these three gunas. It's worth reading, worth studying. After 13th chapter, these are all of them are additional knowledge is to establish the same thing which is established in 13th chapter. But it's a different journey with knowledge of equation. Now we people are not ajnanis. If we would have completed from the beginning up to 13th chapter, that's what Krishna's job is. Swamiji, just I am listening your classes from the last chapter, doesn't matter. No, just I am listening your classes, doesn't matter. No problem at all. Krishna will help us to establish properly. So 3 gunas are the subject of this chapter. The 3 gunas, understanding about 3 gunas will help us to understand gunatita vastu, the entity which is beyond gunas. That's what Nishprapancham prapanchate. Vedanta says the world has got mithya reality. It means world is false. That false reality is proved properly so that we can understand the originality of the world which we believe it's true. Okay. Shalom. So now we are going to begin from the verse number 3. The verse number, yes, so we have completed 2 verses before itself. In those 2 verses, Bhagavan just gave the glory of the knowledge. So by knowing which we will get rid of samsara. That's what the content of those 2 verses. Now from the verse number 3 and 4th, Bhagavan brings the cause of these 3 gunas. Where do you find three gunas? Three gunas we only experience through the object. You take any object, it is endowed with three gunas. The body, our own sharira is which is endowed with three gunas. So how can Swamiji, I am not aware about this? No, we are aware about it, but we are not categorizing it. So sometimes the body feels so drowsy, we would like to sleep, we don't want to attend any classes, especially Vedanta classes, which brings more drowsiness. It is occupied by Tamoguna. The same Vedanta class is not able to attend because I become overactive. I am not able to sit in a place. I want to chase something. I want to fight for something. I want to establish something. I want to chase something means I would like to become a kind of sportsman. I have to chase the victory. I have to establish the victory in my business. I have to struggle a lot. Rajogunas. The nature of Rajoguna is to chase something, to establish something, to fight with, to argue with something. If my mind means your mind or anybody's mind which is involved with these three kinds of things, not allowing you to sit for a class, to listen, then the mind is occupied by Rajoguna. Be careful. Why, Swamiji? Because people usually in our world praises who works. Okay, the people who work a lot, they are praised. The workaholic people are praised like anything. It is a wrong thing. So always people are praised. In India, I am telling about, I don't know about abroad. In India, the parents always give the example of the elders or neighbors or somebody else, who has become workaholic. You see him, he always works, he makes great effort. He is not the drowsy person. He is not a lazy one like you. People don't like people are lazy, and people who don't like meditate and who wants to get some spiritual progress, it becomes very hurdle, very dangerous things in our family. They don't allow. Now Rajoguna, you have to have force to work and things. Okay. Then what about Sattva Guna? Sattva Guna means what? When our own body, mind and sense complex are endowed with peace and clarity and not having any emotional fluctuation, peace and clear. Okay. And not only that, with efforts, that efforts would affect others and our own self too. Endowed with those kind of efforts. When we realize our body itself becomes subject for three gunas, then I can use those gunas in active way. That's what So whenever I get tamoguna, I have to convert it through bringing Rajoguna, then I can conquer the Tamoguna. So Tamoguna can be crossed over by using Rajoguna. Rajoguna can be crossed, means conquered, by bringing Sattva-guna. Only these three characteristics are there with the worldly object, mind, buddhi, or indriyas. Even eyes are endowed with the three gunas. And ears and organs of actions, everything is endowed with three gunas. Food materials, they also helps us to increase or decrease three gunas. Therefore, all those lists which are going to be prescribed by Bhagavan Krishna, the world is nothing but in the form of three gunas. That three guna exists where? That three guna, the cause of those three gunas is what? That is what is known as Maya principle. That Maya principle is called mother principle. That mother principle, which is nothing but the matter principle. The matter principle, nothing but Prakriti Tattvam. That Prakriti Tattvam, which is inert, but it seems to be swinging like three gunas. How it is possible? Because Rajoguna is so aggressive, Satoguna with clarity, Tamoguna with drowsiness. How it is possible? Because inert material cannot have three gunas. No, this matter principle is endowed with borrowed consciousness so that it can own its liveliness. That's what the truth is said in these two verses. Verse number 3 and 4 are saying just the cause of these three gunas is nothing but borrowed consciousness. That's what is mentioned by these two verses. Let me read it again. Mama yonir mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiyah tasam brahma mahad yonihi aham bija pradah pita. The same concept is established with the help of two verses by Bhagavan. Now Bhagavan brings a knowledge from where all creatures are born. He says that is known as Mahad Yonihi. Mahad Brahma Yonihi. Yonihi means Om. Mahad Brahma means infinite Brahman or Prakriti. Brahman means here Prakriti. The great Prakriti is my Om. Okay, so we are all born from that Prakriti alone, from that Om alone, that place, because our experience, we are born out of our mother's womb. But Bhagavan says that's it's seemingly true, but the original truth is you are born out of Maya. That Maya is known as Mahat Brahma Yonihi. All creatures are born out of that. That's what he says. Tataha bhavati sarva bhutanam sambhavaha. From thereupon, the origination of all beings take place. From where? From Maya Tattva. From Maya Tattva means from the womb. The womb is known as Maya. Okay. Then also he says, I am the father principle. He doesn't use the father principle. He says, Aham garbham dadami. I place the seed in that. I give energy to the Maya. That's what I said, borrowed consciousness as Vedantic language. Inert material, it seems to be alive because of what? Borrowed consciousness. Like a fan, which is dead material, but it swings. So when it swings, it seems to be alive. A bulb, which is inert material, it enlightens. The luminosity is due to what? Current. Like that, that consciousness principle, which is said here as a father principle, places the energy in the form of seed. Now creation is taken as a tree. The seed is placed by Ishvara, the consciousness principle, so that this world can become a kind of lively things. Now body seems to be alive because of what? Borrowed consciousness. This is the fundamental knowledge he establishes in the beginning itself. Because verse number 5 to 18, we are going to have analysis on three gunas. Now the base of three gunas are introduced. Three gunas exist in Maya. So Maya is the place, is the garbha from all creature is born from that alone. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtayaha yaha murtayaha sambhavanti. So whatever the forms are born, the forms of human being, forms of animals, forms of plants, forms of nature, everything comes out of this womb alone, but they seems to be they are from separate individual wombs. Sarva yonishu. There are many yoni, many wombs are visible, but all of them are from one Om is known as Maya or Prakriti. Thasam Brahma Mahadyonihi Aham Bija Pradapita. I am the provider, I am the one who provides seed in the greatest Prakriti, that which is known as infinite Om. That's all. Now, its simple understanding is what? Now, the consciousness principle, which borrows the energy, consciousness, the liveliness to the Prakriti Tattvam, then Prakriti Tattvam becomes alive. From that, the creatures have been created, which are endowed with three gunas. That's all the particulars. Okay, this much understanding is enough from the words number 3 and 4. Now we can go for verse number 5. Let me read it. Sattvam rajastamayiti gunah prakriti sambhavaha nibadhnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Now the subject matter begins from these words. He says there are three gunas which are born out of Prakriti. Now Prakriti means what? We have to say it's a force which is known as Maya, which is the yoni. It is equated with the womb of a mother, so that we can understand, okay, so everything is caused by that entity called the Prakriti Tattva. Therefore the yoni, the word which means womb of a mother, is given as an example. Everything caused by Maya here. Whatever I see as a created object, it is nothing but from this yoni called Maya. And he says these three gunas which are born out of Prakriti alone binds the person. The person who is independent by the nature. The person means the consciousness principle, which is in the form of I. But the consciousness person seems to be suffering due to what? Due to three gunas, sir. Many people would have got the questions. This unlimited consciousness, how can it become limited? That's what the question was, Because of this three gunas. The three guna helps us to experience the consciousness in its limited way in the form of ahankara. Okay, I don't want to confuse you more. Now he introduces there are three gunas which are born out of Prakriti binds. The nature of three gunas are what? To bind people with their world. So every one of us, I am bound with my world, means my body, mind and sense complex, and with the world of experiences. Like that, you are bound with your body, mind and sense complex. Okay, I don't want to live in this body because it's a product of Sattva, Rajoguna, Tama. Then what? If I commit the suicide, I can escape. No. You will be given one more Sharira. You will be bound again. It is, unending story. If you want to end it, you have to use Atma Jnana, otherwise it is not possible, sir. Now in this verse number 5, just establishes the nature of three gunas which cause for binding. Dehe avyayam dehinam nibadhnanti. These three gunas alone binds the person who is nothing but consciousness principle. That's all the meaning from these words. We'll go to next one. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakaman amayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanagha. Now from these words onwards up to verse number 9, means 6 to 9, Bhagavan is going to introduce the Swarupam of three gunas. The Karyam of three gunas which was introduced in the last verse. Verse number 5, which mentioned the gunas will bind you with your body, mind and sense complex. Then it means what? That bondage will bring suffering. From this verse, he is going to establish the nature of, the original nature of, means a Swarupam of these three gunas. तत्र सत्वं निर्मलत्वात् prakashakam anamayam. Tatra, among these three gunas, this sattva guna, by having the nature of nirmalatvam. Nirmalatvam means what? That which is endowed with clarity, crystal clearness, and prakashakam, with by nature, which is in the form of enlightenment, which is endowed with light, anamayam, that which is not endowed with pain, not endowed with the sufferings, sukha sangena badhnati, that which makes a person to be adjoined with happiness, jnana sangena chanagha, that helps the person also to pursue the knowledge. Now the swarupa of sattva guna is said here, that which makes us to pursue knowledge, that which makes us to be endowed with happiness, that which is endowed with anamaya means sukham, and that which is endowed with clarity is known as sattva guna. This is the explanation from Lord Krishna. We will also understand more clearly from the next session. I'll see you tomorrow. Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavachishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.